Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. We got a whole bunch of crazy stuff to talk about today. These people out here cutting up at these Airbnbs, and you know who they are. A Canadian woman got detained after slapping a Trump supporter, and her boyfriend is out here crying because she's going to get deported, and he's wondering why. What happened? Yeah, when you in our country cutting up, you go get deported. All right? Jersey Mike's had an Employee of the Year. I almost want to do a GoFundMe for him, because he stood up to a nut job that thinks she's going to bully her way out of stuff and call everybody a racist. That did not work. And before we get to any of that, I want to talk about some of the new updates in Nolan Wells' case. You will not believe this. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country. All right, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. I just want to give a quick shout out to all the members. Thank you guys for being a part of the membership program. We are literally growing every single month, and I'm very proud of you guys for supporting us and supporting our endeavors. And I promise you, we're going to get more content, more exclusive stuff to you guys. And thank you for helping us build out that program. All the way from the rookie to the deputy chiefs, I love you guys. I appreciate you. And if you're thinking about joining, make sure you join. It's got a $2.99. If you change a little strange and pocket your money acting funny, you can start at $2.99. That's still a supportive thing for the channel. Make sure you download the podcast, the Officer Tatum Show on the podcast network, and also go and join my Substack. If you're already on Substack, go and join me. We write content every single day. And I think you'll really enjoy that other side of what I do. All right, let's get to Nolan Wells' case. Let me just say this real quick. I know more than you think I know. I just want to put that out there. Take it for whatever you want. I know more than you think I know. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, let's get to some of the updates that have occurred because you still have the race hustling junkies out here trying to make everything about race. And I don't know why they won't just let this boy, his legacy be expressed by his friends, people who knew him, his coaches, and then have his funeral and let the investigators do their job. Why y'all got to keep pushing this stuff? And it really bothers me because it seems like as we approach more and more of this information that's coming out, it doesn't appear to be what they saying it is. Come on, roll the clip.
This morning, we're learning more about the Independence Day boat trip Nolan Wells and his friends took to Mississippi's Horn Island. As part of a records request to the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, NBC News obtained GPS information for the boat. The records show it departed from a private boat launch at 9:56 a.m., arriving at the island by 11:14 and staying there until 4:30 p.m. An audio of a call around that time to a private towing company obtained from the same records request, the caller explains a mechanical issue with the boat.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
The towing company dispatched reaching out to a local captain for help.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island, and he's saying the boat is sinking. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Records then show the boat being towed slowly from about 4:31 until 5:25 before getting back to normal speed. The boat then returned to its original location at 5:44 without Nolan Wells. Melissa Miller was at Horn Island on the 4th. She says there were hundreds of boaters there for the holiday.
It's just a big community. Everyone goes out there and, has a good time.
She also says it's normal to leave cell phones on boats and that currents at the northwest corner of the island can be treacherous.
Like you can go out there just innocently and next thing you know, the water's, it's like kind of sucking you in, throwing you back out.
After speaking with one of the friends on the boat, Nolan's concerned mother reported him missing to police.
Police report her 18-year-old son, Nolan Wells, missing backseat at 3 on Horn Island.
His body was found on July 6th.
Now, one parent has also posted that some of Nolan's friends have been getting threatening messages. The FBI does confirm that it is investigating threats connected to this case, all while Nolan's mother is encouraging people to stay peaceful as she plans to hold his funeral next week.
I want y'all to go and look at something real quick. Go back on that footage where that lady was showing the island, Horn Island. Now you can cut the music or the sound for her. Just play the B-roll of this. Pause it right there. I want to put this in perspective real quick because this is something that I thought was happening. I'd never been to Horn Island. I don't know what this place looked like. The way that the family and Benjamin Crump them are making it sound like Nolan went with a few friends to this little island, and that's the only people that were there. And then all of a sudden, they come back and he gone. But when you look at it, play it. When you look at what this looked like, there's a whole bunch of people out there. You're talking, this is like thousands of people out here. You got hundreds of boats all along the coastline. And so when they leave and Nolan is still there, he's not by himself. He's there with a whole bunch of people. And so to act like they went and did something to Nolan and then left him and tried to hide it all, that ain't passing the smell test no more. And I'm going to say this real quick because you will find out very soon, in my opinion, that the narrative that's out there is just not true. And there's a lot of people that know it's not true, but they won't stand up and say nothing about it. Now listen to Nolan Wells' mom, and I'm gonna say this because with all due respect, she lost her baby. I give them grace in this time. I don't like that they work with Benjamin Crump because he's a crook, in my opinion. He don't do nothing but race hustle people. That man is not even a criminal law attorney. So you ain't gonna get no justice in the criminal justice system because that's not what he there for. And if your baby ain't died, potentially at the hands of white people, they don't care about your baby. Benjamin Crump ain't gonna be at a press conference holding your hand with your husband's hand, talking about our babies. They don't care about the babies unless there's money involved. I'm telling you. But put all that aside. Here's from his mom. She wanted to thank people that have been supportive of her son. I just wish that they would never work with Benjamin Crump and them. They corrupt everything they touch, in my opinion. Roll the clip.
Hey, Boo Bears. I know you probably did not expect to see me, but I had to come on because I wanted to acknowledge all of your love, your support, your kindness that you guys have been showing me. I wanted to answer each and every one of you, and I probably will at some point. I will at some point, but right now it's just, everything is so heavy. Everything is so heavy. Just been going through the motions, I'm a healthcare provider, so I talk about grief a lot. And now to be on the other side of this is, it's a lot. So I lost my mom a few years ago, and that was hard. This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different. It's insurmountable. And then it's like you get these flood of emotions all at different times, and grief is so multi-layered. 1 second I might be okay and I can talk about things and I can listen to his stories, and then the next minute I am falling apart and I feel like I can't breathe, and I feel like there is an elephant just sitting on my chest. But I know this is the process. I have a wonderful support system. I have my faith in God, which I've been leaning heavy into. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I see you, I love you, I'm thankful for all of you, and I'm so sorry that I hadn't been able to reply. I don't know exactly when again I'll post. For some reason, it does help. And I know if Nolan was here, he'd be like, Mom, just keep talking to the people, keep telling my story, keep telling your story. So that is going to be my plan. Again, thank you all so much. I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
All right, there's a lot of things I want to say, but I'm going to reserve my opinions until later. But I will say, I am frustrated that this had to be about race. I just don't see any connection to it. And after people have already come out, the coach, people have already been on the news saying, this is not, y'all making this out to be the Deep South in the 30s, in the 1800s, where y'all acting as if there's this crazy racial tension. And I have not heard anybody that live in this area know anything about this area that say that there's any racial tension in this place. The black coach said it wasn't nothing. But why is the Benjamin Crump crowd pushing it so hard? I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna go off if I find out that these people been grifting. I'm not talking about the parents. I don't want to. The parents, they grieving, and I feel like these race hustlers take advantage of grieving families. So if I find out that Benjamin Crump and them done lied about this stuff, done made up stuff, done had access to evidence that they refused to see, or they refused to communicate with people, because to be honest, if you want justice for Nolan Wells, you better be calling and communicating with everybody involved. And if I find out that they weren't doing what they supposed to be doing, due diligence, and they were really open-minded, and instead they pushing an agenda, I'm gonna be all over like stank on rice, like they call it stank on white on rice and stank on sugar honey iced tea. All right. With this being said, I think that more and more information is coming out. It does not appear that this has anything to do with race. And right now we have no evidence that there's foul play. All I hear is disparagement of people with no evidence. Now, what does this breed, or what does this expose? This next clip. Roll it.
I can't believe that there's men that would actually lay down and have babies with a woman like this. Play the clip.
We're at a point right now where my kids ain't allowed to hang with white kids. Like, you literally can't hang with these white kids. I promise you. And this is the thing. White men are dangerous. White people are dangerous. When you are the only black friend out of the friend group, you almost always are going to be the one. When the police come, you the one going to catch the charge. When the hoes come around, we got to make somebody look stupid so we can get or look cool, you going to be the you cannot be the only black one. So the fact that you can't be the only black one as an adult, how the can you be the only black one as a 13-year-old? My son has white friends. I'm already trying to figure out how to explain to him that y'all can hang at school, y'all can do an after school thing, y'all can go to the mall. You can't go to their houses and you can't spend the night.
Time out.
It's too.
Do you guys understand? I'm trying to be graceful a little bit, because I know black people been through a lot in this country, especially, during the time of slavery, post-slavery. I know there's been some tension, Jim Crow. But I almost think that some people are damaged beyond repair. How are you still talking like this in 2026? You guys, like for instance, you go through trauma, you recover from trauma, and you become better. It's like people have gone through trauma and they pass down trauma, and now they're not dealing with it, so they create trauma. For you to sit here and say out of your mouth, you tell your kids can't hang out with white kids, and that you could go over there, but you can't spend a night. Imagine if white people were openly saying that about black people. You know how crazy that is? It's not okay when black people do it. It ain't okay a white person do it. If a white person's on a podcast saying, I'm already telling my kids they can't be around black people. Now, if you want to keep it real, white people have more of an argument to say that than black people do. I just keep it real. You ain't got a lot to kick it. Look at the statistical data points. If white people actually said that, they got more of a point, even though it's ignorant, than black people do talking about white folks. Come on, let her finish.
Dangerous.
Imagine being a juvenile offender with a record starting at the age of 14 because your parents failed you.
It's dangerous.
It is.
I ain't go to school, and I was in federal prison by 21.
Going to jail and learning absolutely nothing, so in less than 10 years, you decide to become a drug dealer because your brain is the size of a...
Credit checks and being able to take back, and they send you a check that you get cash for. It was just constant finesse how to figure out how to do it. And
now you're a convicted felon telling black parents not to let their kids be around white children. The hypocrisy. So who's gonna tell her? I don't know why no one's told you yet, miss, but you're the creep on the block. You're the weird lady with the rap sheet that good people point at and tell their children never to be like. You're the parent with the kids that people probably whisper about because they know you steal. So in reality, we should be telling these kids to stay away from you. The audacity to blatantly say that you think white people are too dangerous. Yet you will never hear this big white roach say nothing when it's black people killing black people. What about the 15-year-old and 16-year-old that just killed a family of 5 and left 2 severely wounded in the hospital? Or what about the black couple out in Aiken County, you know, the ones who unalived their daughter and chopped her up before trying to use corrosive acids to get rid of her body? Yeah, let's hear it. Can I buy a vowel? This Mona is a felon with her own history of crimes and bad choices. Yeah, has the nerve to lecture everybody on what they should do with their kids. So either this must be allergic to per capita or she's just slow. A black person's worst enemy in this country is another black person. And this woman right here is a prime example. Another uneducated criminal pushing more racial hate into the community and helping other people fail their kids because her family failed her. Ladies and gentlemen, if you see this woman, keep your kids far away from her kids. Because it's women like this who will want to call you a racist simply for existing around her kid, no matter how kind you are. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm black and I would never want you around my kids.
Come on, who is this girl? Somebody find her. We need to find her. I want to bring her on the show. See, this is black people. The ones that's like that, me, her, we the ones that we made it out of it. I don't understand how, you know, I'm going to say this, don't get mad at me, just understand this what it is. The biggest threat to black people are other black people. It's not white people. People just making it up because they don't want to take accountability. Because even in this Nolan Wells case, I feel like the brother, this is my feel of this. The brother had white friends. He ain't got no problem with these people. They ain't got no problem with him. They play football together. They go to school together. They do all this stuff together. It don't seem like they had no problems. Where's the evidence of them having any problems ever? It don't exist. But you know who comes in to really tarnish, to take attention away from Nolan's death is another black man that got his mind on pimping. His mind is on GoFundMe money. And he come in and just throw everything off, cause all this racial tension. Why? For what? Even the coach said, nah, there ain't no race going on. Why don't Benjamin Crump talk to the coach? Who's the enemy in this situation? And I swear I'm going to blow up. Let me find out they've been grifting. Let me find out for a fact they've been grifting. I'm blowing up. And I will be proven correct. The biggest threat to black people is these other black people. All right, let's go to exhibit C. Here's another thing. This is what the Benjamin Crump stuff breeds. Here's another one. Go.
There are a lot of people who do not like the way this is being handled.
I want to make sure you guys know this. He's not talking about the Nolan Wells case, just so you know. But he's going to reiterate this ideology that I think is very toxic. And these are prominent people on podcasts talking like this. Roll the clip.
Really about black people don't like to see black subjugated to anything. There is no culture that should overtake your duty as a black person. Black comedy. People are going to ask, which culture is more important, the black or the comedy? Yeah. Black police officer, which culture is more important, the black or the police officer? If you are saying I am blue before I am black, then that means a nigga is going to get punched in his face. A black man, as a black woman, is going to be abused because you are in the middle of a culture that can be dangerous to black people, and you ain't gonna say nothing because you blue and not black.
You didn't talk about police. Now I got to say something real quick. A stewhead, you should be a police officer before you pick a color, because I swear before God, if a white person got up here and say, "What are you, white? Or you a cop?" They'll look like a Klans member. Like they would look like a Klan. They will lose their social media account if they got on a podcast and said, "I'm white before I'm anything," and white people need to understand that, bro. You white before you a cop. You about comedy. No, it's about being white first. If I heard some white person say that, that's the craziest sugar hunt. But black people say it, and they get away with it, and it's just celebrated. Listen to this fool. Let him finish.
Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart and the sanctity of the NFL locker room. Are you an NFL player or are you a black NFL player that will stand in the gap against racism or racist policies? Will you disturb the sanctity of the locker room, the culture of the NFL for your blackness? If you do not do that, black people feel unprotected by you. And if they feel unprotected by you, they feel like they cannot trust you. And if they cannot trust you, they'll find somebody else that they trust to support. So the question in all of this stuff is, if you're a black comic, what's more important, the black or the comic? Because if there are rules in comedy that make black people feel less protected, less seen, more exposed, then people are going to be like, your jokes. And that's fair. But when people are asking them, it's important that people know, Kevin Hart or anyone else, that they're not asking these questions like with an objective view of the lens of freedom of speech in America. They're asking these questions in context. And the context is 400 plus years of some of the worst torture, degradation, and disenfranchisement in the history of the world. And it's difficult to put that to the side.
I can't listen to these silly people, man. You know, slavery was a very temporary thing in comparison to slavery around the world in America. There was 400,000 slaves in America. There was like 3 or 4 million slaves in South America. The slave trade in South America was prolific in comparison to in North America. And black people owned slaves in North America too. The first legal slave owner was a black man. Quit playing with us. Learn your stats and your facts. Slavery was going on all the way from the Bible for thousands of years. And you talking about a group of people in America for a temporary period of time in comparison to world history. Jews were in internment camps. Way more recent than black people were enslaved. And then slavery was only in the South. There were some pockets of some stuff going on in it, but it was a Southern thing. Went to war over it. And the prevailing party won that didn't own slaves. But they want you to think every black person to ever put their foot on the ground in America was somehow a slave getting beat every day on a plantation. That's not true. Even Harriet Tubman was married. Did you know that? I'm going to move on. I promise y'all. Sorry, Grant. Harriet Tubman was married. Harriet Tubman's husband was a free black man. It started, when you learn real history, it started to make you think, what are we talking about here? When Harriet Tubman went to free the slaves, Harriet Tubman, like I thought Harriet Tubman came from the South. Like she was in Mississippi somewhere. And she got slaves all the way up to the north. No, she was like in Maryland somewhere. And I mean, it wasn't a small task, but she wasn't traveling across the thing like this. And then her husband was a free man, and he disagreed with her and said you should not go and do it, and she did it anyway. He will go down in history as a perpetual coward from our historical perspective. But Harriet Tubman had a job and everything else. And then when I went and studied Africana studies and I studied slavery and stuff, and you realize that slavery wasn't all the same. Everybody wasn't in the cotton field. Everybody wasn't getting their head beat in. There was a lot of different types of slavery. Some people were like maids, the same people you got today working and doing stuff. And so it wasn't all what you think it was. But I digress. Let's go to another segment. And is this the Airbnbs? I thought we were going to. I can't hear none of you say. I thought we were going to the this. Okay. All right. I think this is important, y'all. I'm building up to my Jubilee debate, black liberal versus me being a conservative. I want y'all to listen to Illinois, what was happening in Illinois in the 60s. This is what white people. This is why. I think we've been lied to about history in this country by people who have it in their heart to make money and grift off of division. Martin Luther King was one of those people. And I think Jesse Jackson, rest his soul, Al Sharpton, and all these people are the same type of people. they knew there was money in black people being victims. They knew it was money in suffering. They knew it was money in victimhood. And so they abuse the community and show a light so they can always have employment and being the activists. Because when you go back and look at it, I don't think white people were as racist towards black people as they say they were. I think that there were some that were, but I think generally speaking, I don't think white people was tripping like that about black people the way they try to tell you they were. Listen to this video. Roll it.
How would you feel about Negroes moving in here to Cicero?
Well, I really don't know, but some Negroes are clean and some aren't. And if they move in on this block and they're clean, I would play with them.
Mm-hmm. What does your mom and dad say about it?
Well, they say, well, I really don't know. They don't say too much about it.
Are they enthusiastic or no?
No.
No.
My dad says if they do, well, we're just going to have to move maybe.
Is that your mother up there working?
Yes, it is.
Time
Let's see
out.
if I can.
Look at this propaganda. They've been doing this forever. This ain't organic. Y'all know that, right? Somebody's filming. He's there talking to the daughter. They didn't stage this. He's talking to her, then he's going to go up the stairs and talk to mama. They already didn't stage this interaction. Now, what the young girl said is if you're an honest person, what the young girl said is no different than anybody say who living in their community. Same thing with black people. Some black people from across the road going to move over here. No, they in here gangbanging and doing all that. I don't want them in our community. I grew up in an all-black community. We ain't want them. We ain't nobody thugging. Same thing with illegals. Man, they go come over here and work and do the right thing. We ain't got no problem. They come over here and they stealing and doing all that. We don't want these people in our community. But we've been conditioned that if white people say it, it's wrong. If black people say it, it's just. Roll the clip.
Talk to her for just a moment. Ma'am, I wonder if I could ask you to come on down the stairs just an instant and talk to me.
Stage.
There's been so much talk recently about Cicero and Negroes and property values. What's your view?
Well, I'm perfectly satisfied with the neighbors we have. We have old homes here. We take very good care of them.
I see that you do.
And when it would come right down to it, I don't think we would object to other neighbors if they would come up to our standards of living.
Or do you think that the fact that a man is a Negro or a woman is a Negro, on the face of it, simply makes them an undesirable neighbor?
No, not really. I have known so many colored people that are so nice. But like I say, I think they have to learn to live the way we do and take care of things.
How do people learn to live that way?
By hard work. We have worked very, very hard for what we have. We've been here 30 years and we didn't get anything for nothing. We worked very hard for what we have and we're still working hard to maintain it.
How would you feel, truly, if a colored family were to move in over there with the washers hanging on the line?
Oh, I don't know. I really couldn't say. I'd probably get along very good with them. But if they leave me alone, I leave them alone.
Uh-huh.
I'd be afraid to go out at night.
Afraid to go out at night?
What kind of colored people living around here?
You mean you think they're violent people?
Well, some of them are. There are some that really would be like that, and there are some good ones too.
Mm-hmm.
You really couldn't trust any of them.
There are many good coloreds, and I worked with some of them, and I liked them, and I like this person that I said works at the lounge over there. But there's the ones that are going to march I don't like, and I can't stand, I got no use for.
And when your church tells you human rights?
What the marchers want, they don't want rights. They say they want peaceful coexistence. How can they have peaceful coexistence when there's all this trouble?
Who makes the trouble?
They do, by marching.
If, let's say, 10 or 20 families moved into Cicero, which is a town of 70,000.
They'd get killed.
So, and you know, if you look at that, it looked like they edited it. Where, what was the question that he had asked before that? Anyway, just listen. They allegedly went up to random white people, and they pretty much gave the same explanation that any rational person would. We don't care. We really don't care. As long as they come up in here and they work hard and they do this. That's not bizarre in the 60s. Now, let's fast forward to today. I'm not saying every black person does this, but like, this is what people talking about from way back then to now. Roll it.
New at 5 tonight, a Monroe homeowner says that he fell victim to what he's calling an organized scam that turned his historic mansion into a scene of chaos.
The 7-room estate was left heavily damaged after thousands of people flooded the property for a secret social media promoted pool party. The owner says he believed he was renting the home to a family for the weekend.
Instead, he says it became a viral event that left his property in ruins. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis with the story.
The damage is devastating and disgusting. Floors wet with backed up sewage, a 150-year-old piano destroyed, broken windows, and the pool littered with debris. This is the aftermath of a wild party promoted on the internet at this house in Monroe.
There was smashed glass everywhere, garbage everywhere. When I drove by.
Without knowing, maybe I gave it away. Who you think was doing this? And then the lady, we go fast forward from 60s then to now. Do you think these people have the same mentality? If they come over here and they act like they got some sense, nobody cares. But what do they go do? Roll it.
The property during the party, I could see there had to been at least 150 to 200 people in the swimming pool.
Off camera, the owner says he listed the house on Booking.com and believed he was renting the mansion on Sapphire Road to a family for the weekend. Instead, it was the target of Project X, a party promoted on social media. The exact address withheld until the day of the event. Within hours, vehicles clogged the street as partygoers arrived.
It had to be hundreds and hundreds of cars, and yeah, just something like this area is really not used to or not honestly equipped for.
Police were called, but the location is in the unincorporated part of Monroe, patrolled by state police, which only enforce state laws, not local ordinances. Still, the town supervisor says she believes the party should have been shut down.
Based on the description of damage, trespassing, what probably was underage drinking, someone found needles that implicated, illicit drug use. I was just shocked that there wasn't probable cause for the state police to respond appropriately.
The party went on until the wee hours of Sunday. By the time the owner arrived from out of town, many neighbors had cleaned up most of the debris on the road.
Well, we all felt horrible for the homeowner. I mean, he put so much effort and energy into building that house into a really beautiful place. I mean, when we saw all the destruction, we just all pitched in and started cleaning up.
The homeowner, town supervisor, and neighbors all expressing relief that no one was hurt in an event that could have ended badly. In Monroe, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Let's go to the next clip. This was even more insane. And somebody Airbnb. Roll it.
Bro, this shit wild, bro.
Okay. Bro, what are you talking about? Your money. Yeah. Bro, what did you want with us? What are you doing all this for?
Now, I'm not saying that that's everybody. What I'm saying is that when you put what happened in the 60s on that video into context, you can see what people are saying. I experienced this in my own lifetime. I remember us living in Crowley in Fort Worth in Texas, living in Crowley. When my dad and them moved over there the first time, it was a nice, beautiful neighborhood. It was mostly white, but it had some diversity because some of us that went to the school, played sports together, we all went over each other's house, middle-class area. They moved the projects in across the railroad tracks on McCart. And that community went downhill. Drug dealing, thugging, robberies. People couldn't even leave their car parked in the yard. People breaking in your cars. I remember people used to walk their dogs up and down that street. And nobody walking their dogs. You see dudes sagging pants, thugging. And then, the football team got better. The sports teams got better. But the community went down. The schools went down. This was a prime place. And I wish that people of color would take some responsibility for their own actions and stop blaming people and just do better. If you took responsibility and say, I'm not going to beat my brother up. That's my brother. I love my brother. We got to stick together as black people. I'm not going to tear my brother down. I'm not going to beat my brother. I'm not going to shoot my brother. I'm not going to rob my brother. I'm not going to rob in my neighborhood. I'm not telling you to go rob white people in the neighborhood, but God dang, you're robbing your own people. And to be quite honest, they would take accountability for their actions and stop blaming everybody else. We wouldn't have this being like this. Because when white people move in, they call it gentrification. When white people move out, they call it white flight. You can't win. They move in and make the community better. They go, oh, it's gentrification. Oh, they putting us all. And now y'all not leveling up. Then the white people live in the community. Y'all start cutting up, they leave. Oh, white flight. Well, if white people were the problem, when they leave, your community should be better, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? We know what the truth is, and I'm not trying to make it racial, but nobody gonna say it but B. Tatum. All right, let's get to the next story. I'm gonna try to do this quickly. Canadian woman slapped a Patriot conservative, and now she getting deported, and now look who's mad. Her boyfriend, who's a beta. He in the car crying, I don't know what happened. Shut up, boy. Roll the clip.
A 4th of July trip to the Jersey Shore is making headlines after police say a woman slapped a teenage girl for wearing Trump and ICE gear on the boardwalk. The suspect is a Canadian national who overstayed her visa by nearly a year and is now in ICE custody at Newark's Delaney Hall.
Good.
Police say that 33-year-old Caitlin Tracy recorded herself striking the teenager twice with an open hand during a confrontation on the Point Pleasant Beach boardwalk, all because of her patriotic colored sweatpants with political wording. Tracy was arrested and charged with simple assault, neglect of a child, compounding crime, and harassing communication. DHS says that she entered the U.S. in 2024 under the Biden administration. No shock there. And has since overstayed, she has been transferred into ICE custody while immigration proceedings move forward.
Let's play the clip. Now, the sweatpants, I don't see the sweatpants. But look at this. Oh, the other girl had the sweatpants on. So it looked like another girl had the USA sweatpants on and she slapped the other girl. So it must have been a combination of sweatpants and the other girl wearing patriotic gear that she just walked up and slapped her for no reason. Well, it looked like no reason. I don't know what the issue was, but look at the boyfriend up here with piercings in his lip bone. Bro, what you doing? Roll the clip.
I don't know what to do. My wife is being detained by ICE. She's in Ocean County Jail right now, and I can't get a hold of her. She keeps trying to call me, but they won't let me put money on her card. The kiosk in the Toms River jail is broken, and all the numbers and stuff they gave me wasn't right or wouldn't allow me to put money on her card. And ICE is coming there to pick her up. I need an immigration lawyer. I need help. I don't know what to do. I don't have any money. I'm so f***ing broke. But I gotta figure something out. I gotta save her. I need help.
Somebody sign him up at Simp University. I don't know what to do. You getting on there crying like a little chump? I don't know what to do. My wife, she slapped somebody. What you think gonna happen? Anyway, let me tell you about Synergy. If you're looking for a supplement that's natural, a supplement that has only 75 milligrams of caffeine, but all the nootropics help you get energy. We don't sweeten our supplement with sucralose and all this other crappy stuff that people put in there for artificial sweetener. It's because it's cheap. We sweeten our stuff with natural sweetener, monk fruit, you name it, we got it. But the key is, and this is what nobody's doing, and I saw a rumor that Red Bull was trying to do this, but we done it first. Synergy's system of day and night drink is invaluable. If you take that day and night for a week straight, it will change your life. And let me not get sued over that. I believe it will change your life because it changed my life when I take it like that, in the combination. Nobody's doing it, but Red Bull is trying to do it because it works. We're the only people in the country that's doing this. We're the only company that care about you, to be quite honest. I could sell you a 300 milligram shot, drink that thing and you up. But I do care about your health, and I do care about you overdoing caffeine, and I do care about your cortisol levels when it's time to go to sleep. So we gave you a supplement that gives you no crash, no sugar, sustained energy and focus throughout the day, and then at night, wind down, relax, get good deep sleep so you wake up with energy. Give it a try. Money back guarantee. Synergylife.com, synergylife.com. All right, let's get, I think that's it. Love you guys. I got some stuff brewing. I just want y'all that know me, you know me. I got some stuff brewing. Maybe I'll tell the members. I might tell y'all what I got brewing. But we got some stuff brewing, and I think it's going to shock you. I think it's going to shock you, but I got to wait till it manifests. Love you. See y'all the next one. I'm out.